I'm going to pick up a card for Izzy and
Whoa, okay. Okay.
wizard and villain. So I'm going to confront you on that. Izzy, you come up with solutions out of the blue in these meetings that no one else comes out with. It's like magic. It's like people are saying you're a wizard, and you keep doing that repeatedly over and over. Whenever we have a problem, it is just some ingeniously brilliant solution.
I'll admit to you, Laura, people think those are my ideas, and I've been promulgating them for a while now. It's ChatGPT that I've been spending time with and talking about the solutions. And when somebody first, I didn't do it consciously, but somebody said to me, "Hey, that's a great idea. Let me take you to lunch." And I didn't say no. I said, "Okay, one lunch, what's it?" And then somebody else came up and they said that really was impactful with that idea. And I fell into that hole. It's sort of like when you meet somebody and you don't know their name and you get to see them 10, 15 times, there comes a point where you just can't tell the truth anymore.
Say it isn't so, Izzy. You're not the wizard we thought we were. You're actually a villain.
Well, I've had to live this life of a wizard, and I'm causing some really discomfort among people. I'm not open. I'm not honest. And I'm taking credit for things I haven't done. And other people are telling me that they want me to work with them, and I'm taking credit for that too. And I have become a destructive force in this organization.
Well, I tell you what, villains like us should hang together. Don't you agree?
Ooh, yeah. I think it'll certainly make my jealousy less powerful. Yeah, let's do that, and let's see what ChatGPT says about our next move.
Come, join my secret lair. We will be villains together. How did it feel to, as an improviser, first you were yes-anding and then, or yes-knowing, or yes-butting, and then yes-anding to what you were being offered?
There's a certain flow that you get into with yes and when you're telling the story, because it keeps building, and anything you say can lead to something else. When the villain came up and the yes but had to happen, or the consequence, I could feel my creativity slow and almost pause. It's almost like in any creative act, there's a flow of creativity, and then you get to a point where either you're stopped, you're stuck, or you step away and then come back with different perspective. So I was able to notice that there was a shift in perspective in how the story got told.
I thought it was really interesting that you chose first to say, no, I'm not a wizard at all. So you started out with the yes, but, and I know that isn't your character or your go-to at all. Did you hit it first like that just to see what that would be like?
Well, the choice I had to make quickly was, according to the rules, one of them is I have to deny the rumor and explain how the rumor got started, and the other one I have to accept. So once I made the choice to deny, then it was almost like a yes and to the rumor rather than to the role.
I wonder how that would have flowed if we now play it and you have to accept wizard and deny villain, and how might that change the story?
Yeah.
So if I tell you that, let's just play that out really quickly.
Okay.
How Izzy, everybody's saying you're coming into these meetings and you're coming up with stuff like magic, and you get involved in all these different projects because you're just a wizard. You just keep coming up with these great ideas out of thin air. How do you do that? I mean, is this even true?
Well, I'm not technically a wizard, but it is true that people could see me like that, and I actually feel pretty proud of that, because it's sort of like an alchemy where I'm putting different things together. And my grandson taught me that. When I started playing with this little 5-year-old kid, I began to see that there's no obstacles to possibilities. And I think I began to take that, and if you think about what a child is a wizard in terms of making stuff up and then trying to do something else and creating some magic out of something. I mean, even noses disappear for kids. So I think I just embodied this beginner 6-year-old mind, and I guess I get credit for it because most of the other people here are stuck in linear, old-fashioned thinking.
I'm a little concerned with that, because the other rumor that's coming up is you're getting a really big head about your magical abilities to come up with things. You're kind of putting other people down, and it's kind of giving you a power trip that's turning you into something of a villain, and people aren't really liking what you're up for right now.
I think that's not about me, it's about them. That success people are jealous. I'm called a villain because I make people feel bad, but I don't make anybody feel bad. People have their own choices with their own behaviors. I think it just got started because of the jealousy and the competitiveness in this organization, and I wouldn't call myself a villain. But other people might, and that's up to them.
Well, that makes sense. I wonder if you could use your magic powers as a wizard to work with people on making them see you as less of a villain.
Oh, interesting. So if I had wanted to do that, I guess I could go back to what I said was the wizard was play. And maybe we can have some more activities, playtimes, adult playtimes in the company, and then when we play together, people will see I'm really not that much of a villain, and that their assessment is not an accurate one.
Excellent plan. Now, how did it feel to flip roles like that? The story went completely differently depending on how you accepted and how you denied.
Yeah. In both cases, it was the switch that was the challenge. The switch in terms of remembering which character am I, the acceptor or the denier. The switch in the flow that one story is going along, and then you have to go, yes, but everybody sees me as a villain. So I could be a wizard, and here's why I'm a wizard. Yes, but everybody sees you as a villain. Wait, no, I'm not a villain. There's literally I would think that there's a somatic body difference in what happens between the two systems. So that's interesting to me, is how to yes and even the switch. So how do I doing that again? There was a pause. But I think what I'm seeing is that once you commit to a storyline, that you follow it until you change, and then you follow that. It may take a little while to get into that correlated second story, but the idea is just keep building, and not think too much about, does this fit? Is this right? Am I messing up? Just keep. And I really appreciate it. What was helpful also is your questions. You're coming in both times. I thought that being the villain with me in the first segment was really helpful, and the way you presented the questions here was really helpful to keep me on track. And I was pleased to be able to bring the first part into the ending.
Yeah, right. Because it makes it holistic, I guess. What struck me too is something bigger in life, that sometimes when we commit to a storyline, if someone confronts us about something, and our first instinct is we're going to deny that instead of accept it, then we have to double down because it's our ego and that's involved and says, oh, we just said no to this. Now we have to close down and not listen to other perspectives.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, that's really fascinating to have that kind of insight and knowledge about how maybe it's better to yes and something when somebody says something, or to see how they got that perspective in the first place.
What you're saying sparks in me is the word curiosity.
Mhm.
Yes and is an opener to curiosity. So even if it's something that you don't believe in, the fact that the rumor, so that this may be one of the benefits of the rumor game. The rumor exists, whether it's true or not is a choice. So the curiosity is, where did that come from? And that's where the imagination comes in. Right. So if the rumor is I'm this, then I'll say, oh, okay, I am that, and where does it come from? Or I'm not that, and here's the curiosity is how did that evolve? But this is a real, for me, a little eye opener into a spark for curiosity.